Welcome to Punky's World. Okay. Spring Stampede 1994. I'll admit, I muted most of the commentary because I can't stand how Tony Schiavone treats Bobby Heenan. But anyway, this took place on April 17th, 1994, the 40th birthday of the Hot Rod. At the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, Illinois, in front of 12,200 people. I would say that was probably a full house for the venue. There were a lot of what they call dusty finishes, meaning non-finishes. I'm not saying anything bad about dusty. That's what it's known as, a dusty finish. Anyway, the TV title match, Regal versus Pillman, went to a time limit draw. Television title that had a strict time limit for its matches, for matches contested for it, I should say. There were 15 minutes. So, the street fight, Falls Count Anywhere, between the Nasty Boys, Mick Foley and Max Payne, or I guess it was Cactus Jack at the time, was won by the Nasty Boys. It was, who cares? I didn't care one way or the other about it. The U.S. title match between Steve Austin and the Great Muta was awesome. Austin won by disqualification when Muta sent him over the top rope, because at that time in WCW, over the top rope was DQ. But he didn't throw him over the top rope. It was the lamest thing you've ever seen. He just, it was like a backdrop. His own momentum took him over. The thing is, well, I'll get to it when I get to my notes, why I think that happened. Like I said, it was lame. Sting versus Rick Rude was actually a good match. It would have been better had Vader and Harley Race not interfered. But Sting won and became the international champion. It was the NWA title. They just had to change the name because the NWA took their rights away because they weren't paying their dues. And there was a bunkhouse match between Bunkhouse Buck and Dustin. Bunkhouse Buck won a bloodbath. The WCW title that was the main event. Let me tell you the other matches first. We had Big Bubba Rogers, a.k.a. Big Boss Man, a.k.a. at this time The Boss, Ray Traylor, against Big Van Vader. It actually was a decent match. Vader won. Vader was bleeding from the eye for some reason. I'll get to what happened later on in my notes. Johnny B. Bad versus DDP in the first match. Johnny B. Bad won. I feel like I'm missing a match here. No, I guess not. Okay, now my notes. Aaron Neville sung the national anthem absolutely beautifully. It was chills-inducing. DDP gave Bobby Heenan a BH in diamonds. DDP versus Johnny B. Bad was actually a good match, considering the DDP was not in the shape that he's in now. Regal was with Sir William, a.k.a. Superstar Bill Dundee, standing around with a little tiny British flag. Dude, you're from the other side of the world, from Britain. In case you didn't know, Superstar Bill Dundee is from Australia. Anyway, in the street fight, Foley and Sags were too heavy for a gimmicked table. Guess it was too gimmicked. It was the most ridiculous and laughable thing you've ever seen. They're up on it, right? Trying to do a maneuver. All of a sudden, it just collapses underneath the both of them. So they made it like Mick Foley got hurt or whatever. And then he pinned Mick Foley on the floor. But it was the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. I had to laugh at it because literally they were standing on it and went crunch. They just stepped in the wrong spot. It was a little too gimmicked. To gimmick a table. Okay, what that means. And you can't really gimmick a steel chair, but with a table, what they do is they just cut. Not all the way through, they just cut the underside. So hopefully you can't see it. Just enough to weaken the table, or they weaken the table in some other surreptitious way. I've actually seen the cut underneath the table, like a zigzag cut underneath the table. It's like, how's that going to hold anybody? But, so they can do that, or they can gimmick it in some other way by, I don't know, loosening the screws in the foldable legs. But, yeah, and I guess they weakened the table a little too much. That's what gimmicking means. When they gimmick a table, or, you know, gimmick a bottle or whatever it is. Well, not a bottle, because they're just using a they gimmick a table, it means they weaken it. So, this was the first time Bobby Heenan had ever seen the Great Muta live. Oh, that's what I missed, I think. Yeah, Steve Austin versus the Great Muta. Oh no, I told you about that. The over the top rope. Now, my reasoning why I think WCW did that stupid ending on that match was because they didn't really want either one of them to get pinned. Okay, you couldn't fight to a double DQ or double count out or something. You had to do that. It was the most lame, stupid thing. And you could tell by the look on Muta's face he wasn't impressed. And I don't think Austin was too impressed either. Harley Race came out, as I mentioned. He challenged the winner of Sting versus Rude on behalf of Vader. He then went after Sting, who took him out. For an old guy, he still took a great bump. He really did. Vader was, I told you, was bleeding from the eye. The match was a decent back and forth match. What surprised me was I was looking at the TV and it occurred to me the Ray trailer is bigger than Leon White. It's like, wait a minute. Big Bubba is bigger than Vader? I'm like, wow, I did not realize that. Nick Bockwinkel had a busy night. He was commissioner at the time. Now, if you don't know who Nick Bockwinkel was, Nick Bockwinkel was a multi-time AWA champion. He was known primarily as a heel in his career. He was known as a guy that wore the suit and used huge multi-syllabic words to make everyone else feel dumb, you know. That was the character. Make himself sound as intelligent as possible while making you feel like a complete moron. And wearing a fancy suit while doing it. He did have his hands full. Then there was a strange backstage fight. I don't know what the hell was going on. All I know is they went backstage, and all of a sudden, Brian Knobbs is going after Rick Rude. In the locker room, Rude looked confused. All of a sudden, Rude wound up with a bloody nose, and Sags is trying to pull Knobbs off, and like a bunch of guys are trying to hold the two of them back, and I don't know why they started fighting. And they're both heels. So at this point in time, so I don't know why they started fighting. And Jerry Sags is trying to pull his partner off, trying to hold a towel around his waist, and you could see his tidy whities under the towel because he had just taken a shower. It was absolutely insane. I don't know what happened, don't know what the story was, but and if you know, let me know. Anyway, continuing. Nick Bockwinkel, after the match with Vader, because Big Bubba was disqualified, or I guess they called him the boss. To me, he's either the Big Boss Man or Big Bubba Rogers. In WCW, he's Big Bubba Rogers. I'm sorry, as far as I'm concerned. But for the sake of lack of confusion, he's Ray Traylor and Vader is Leon White. He took his handcuffs away and the nightstick. He was not. So he did a very good job of being the commissioner, you know. I think Bockwinkel did a great job. But so, and he took his name away from him too, so it was weird. But I don't think he stayed there much after that, because I think he might have gone back to WWE or WWF at that time for a short time, but I think he ended up retiring after that, not long after that, and unfortunately he passed away. He had a heart attack. The main event was Flair versus Steamboat. It was a double pin. There was not a person sitting in that arena. All 12,200 people were on their feet for that match. Of course, you would expect it to be that good. Again, it was a double pin. Steamboat had Flair's shoulders down with the, what do you call it? Excuse me. Double chicken wing. And the referee counted both their shoulders down, but somehow Flair got his hand raised. It was a double pin, so it was a draw. But I guess they were just showing that Flair was still champion because it was a double pin. So I think they did that again so that neither one would actually lose. I don't know. This is WCW. So I'm not impressed with how many matches ended without an ending. You know what I mean? I hate it. But I will be back to talk about all the previous episodes of Dark Side of the Ring, and we will determine which ones that I will be reviewing for you in further detail on the channel. I'll see you for that. God bless you. Please click subscribe. Please comment. Guys, we're up to 50 subscribers. We're halfway to our goal. That's insane, guys. 50. Well, it has to go like that, doesn't it? Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Bye, guys.